Hi all, it's been a little while. Don't look at my last upload date, please, I beg of you. And a whole lot has happened in that time, but I'm back for now, at least, and I'm ready to get cracking again with some videos that I hope you're all going to enjoy. To get it out of the way early, I hope you enjoy this and consider a like and a subscribe. It goes a long way to sustain my ego, enough at least to keep making stuff for the foreseeable future, but we'll see how that goes. So anyway, now all of that is out the way, let me take you back in time when gaming seemed a little bit more innocent in comparison to what we have nowadays, and talk about a little game that changed everything for me. So I think I was about 5 or 6 years old and my parents bought me a Nintendo GameCube from a local Toys R Us, and with that we got 2 games to play. A game called Donkey Konga with a bongo controller, as well as a Sonic Mega Collection that had all those sort of old classic Sonic games. Now, I wasn't too good at any of these games because I was a child. The Sonic Mega Collection really grabbed me personally, and when I was younger, Sonic became by far my favourite character in like all of media, and I just wanted to watch and play literally everything that had him in. I believe that I dressed up as Sonic a few times when I was a kid at a local youth club. I really just wanted to cosplay as Sonic. Obviously at the time didn't know what cosplay was, but as a child I gave it my best shot. I was probably just a very blue child with red shoes, but I was like, this is what it means to be alive, quite frankly. So we got another game on the GameCube, and that game was one that would take all of my interest by storm and basically just completely take over my entire life for a good chunk of my childhood. And that game is Sonic Adventure 2. Of all the Sonic games that have come out, I certainly remember every moment of this one above all others. Some other games in the series I have a lot of nostalgia for, like Sonic Heroes, Unleashed. Not you. I think the movie of Sonic 3 coming out really made me think about this game again, so I wanted to have a little deep dive into the game, and I guess you all have to come along with me on this hyperfixation of mine. So without further ado, let's start where all good stories do, at the beginning. If you're unfamiliar with the game, Sonic Adventure 2 is split into 2 campaigns, one hero and one dark. The hero story has you playing as Sonic, Knuckles and Tails, while the dark story has you playing as Shadow, Rouge and Dr. Eggman. Essentially, as you go through the stories of both campaigns, you will face 3 basically separate play styles. Sonic and Shadow is the very traditional Sonic gameplay, that sort of get A to B as fast as you can. Knuckles and Rouge are more of a scavenger hunt style as they chase pieces of the Master Emerald. And lastly, Tails and Dr. Eggman have this weird sort of third-person shooter lock-on thing. If you played the game, you're completely aware of this noise. We'll probably talk a little bit more about some of the content in the levels a little bit more later on. It's worth keeping in mind that this is the kind of gameplay for each of the character sections. Both stories follow the same narrative and have sections that intertwine occasionally, such as the boss battles that come up every now and again between the hero characters and the dark characters. So let us go through both stories in chronological order. Some things happen in weird orders, just for ease of understanding. I've moved some bits and skipped some other bits, so don't yell at me in the comments. Our story begins with Dr. Eggman, who invades a gun facility on Prison Island. Here he fights through the facility defences until he reaches a chamber where the military have been keeping their secret weapon. Upon entering the password, Maria, Eggman awakens Shadow the Hedgehog, who, on awakening, defeats a mech that is guarding the facility and offers Eggman a chance at ultimate power on something called the Ark.
Destroying that guard robot was spectacular! So, Shadow, you are the military's top secret weapon. But what did you mean when you said you will grant me a wish?
Bring more Chaos Emeralds.
Shadow, wait!
I'll be waiting for you in the central control room on the Space Colony Ark.
Ark.
Sometime later, Shadow steals a Chaos Emerald and is spotted on TV, with all forces mistaking Shadow for Sonic. In this time, we see flashbacks of Shadow being launched from a mysterious space station by a girl called Maria. Shadow swears revenge on the human race, and Sonic is captured off-screen a little bit later and is being transported away in a helicopter which he escapes through the city. Sonic defeats a mech sent by Gun after evading most of their forces as he escapes, and meets Shadow.
What?
It all starts with this. A jewel containing the ultimate power.
That's the Chaos Emerald! Now I know what's going on. The military has mistaken me for the likes of you. So, where do you think you're going with that emerald? Say something, you fake hedgehog!
Chaos Control!
Wow, he's fast! Hey, it's not his speed. He must be using the Chaos Emerald to warp.
My name is Shadow. I'm the world's ultimate life form. There's no time for games. Farewell!
Shadow, what is he?
Don't move! Stay where you are! Keep your hands up in the air!
Not again.
The following day, Knuckles and Rouge argue over the Master Emerald. While they're arguing, Eggman swoops in and tries to steal the Master Emerald. Knuckles shatters it in an attempt to stop Eggman and explains that he can reassemble the Emerald if he can collect all the shards back together. Following this, Rouge infiltrates Eggman's secret base. Eggman heads to the Ark and is told that he needs to collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds to activate what is called the Eclipse Cannon.
Now, I will show the glorious achievement of what the world's leading scientist, Professor Gerald, has created. The Ark was the first space colony created by mankind. Not many people know that the Ark contained a top-secret research facility where weapons of mass destruction were being created. This is one of them, a weapon capable of destroying an entire planet, codenamed the Eclipse Cannon.
Destroying an entire planet? Was this my grandfather's legacy?
But it's been deactivated for some time now. To reactivate it, large amounts of energy are necessary.
Oh, so that's why we needed the Chaos Emerald.
Exactly. To reactivate the machine, we need the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Once you have that, then you have the ultimate power of destruction to use as you please. And then, the world could be yours.
At this time, Rouge appears before Eggman and Shadow and offers to help them in gathering the emeralds for them. Eggman, Shadow and Rouge arrive to Prison Island and run over the plan to get most of the emeralds in one swoop. Eggman will distract the military by attacking their base on the island. Rouge will infiltrate the gun vault and snag as many Chaos Emeralds as they have, while Shadow sets up bombs across the island to trigger on the group's escape. While this plan's put into motion, Tails arrives in Prison Island to break Sonic out of prison and saves Amy, who happens to bump into Eggman.
Wow, Tails, you did it! But what are you doing here on this island?
I'm the one who should be asking that question. Don't you know it's dangerous here?
I know, but I'm here to save my hero, Sonic.
Again?
Hurry! I know Eggman's up to no good again.
Okay, you stay here and I'll be right back.
Don't leave without me! I want to help Sonic too!
Sonic escapes from his cell with the help of Amy and ends up running into the forest areas surrounding the prison. While escaping, Sonic bumps into Shadow and the two come to blows.
Hey, that's...
That blue hedgehog again, of all places.
I found you, Faker.
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Huh? You're not even good
I'll
enough to
make
be
you eat
my
those
fake.
words.
Before the fight can continue, however, Eggman contacts Shadow to get off the island before the bombs go off, which separates the two hedgehogs who both go to escape the island in their own levels. In this time, Shadow rescues Rouge, who ends up trapped in a vault after fighting a flying mech. Meanwhile, Knuckles collects Master Emerald shards at both Pumpkin Hill and Aquatic Mine. Yes, Knuckles kind of just does this for the first half of the game. Eggman broadcasts a message across Earth and fires the Eclipse Cannon, which is not at full strength at this time. It does destroy a good chunk of the moon, however, and Eggman gives Earth 24 hours before the cannon fires on the Earth itself and asks for all world leaders to surrender the Earth to the Eggman Empire.
All points, no quills, no pillows. Look at that, it looks like 2 balls in a bong. He fucked my wife, so guess what? I'm gonna fuck the Earth. That's right, this is what you get. My super laser piss. Except I'm not gonna piss on the Earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon. How do you like that, Obama?
Later, Tails, Amy and Knuckles regroup and Tails drives after the president. Sonic and Tails intercept a call between Eggman and the president and get the location of Eggman's secret base. Shadow follows Tails in the tornado after this through Sky Rail before tagging in Rouge, who follows Tails a little bit further. As it turns out, Tails would have a Chaos Emerald. The hero group arrive at Eggman's pyramid and look for keys to get further into the base. They fight some ghosts.
Huh? Who's there? What the... a ghost?
And both Sonic and Eggman fight a big statue guy.
Now go and squash the blue hedgehog, Sonic.
Huh. To the end!
When Sonic struck his head, he must have broken the restraining mechanism. Ah, what a piece of junk! No!
While Sonic, Tails and Knuckles arrive at the Ark using a spaceship stolen from Eggman's base, the group end up arguing and the shuttle crashes into the Ark while the Master Emerald shards are accidentally shot out of the airlock. While this is happening, Rouge accesses the control panel on the Ark and learns about the ultimate life form, and Shadow finds out Rouge is a spy for the government. Knuckles and Rouge fight one last time on the Ark, where Knuckles ends up saving Rouge ultimately, and he reassembles the Master Emerald after all this time. Sonic receives a ominous transmission from Tails as Eggman takes Amy hostage. Sonic arrives at the Ark's observation room, where Tails is tricked by Eggman.
Handing over the fake emerald? I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Put the emerald down right there and back off.
You've turned into a big-time villain, Doctor.
Whoa! You thought you could trick me with that fake emerald, didn't you?
So, how did you know it wasn't the real one?
Tails!
Because you just told me, Fox Boy. Now, for a little space ride. The capsule clears the colony back.
I'm counting on you, Tails. Amy, take care of yourself.
Farewell, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic uses the fake emerald to do chaos control, teleporting elsewhere in the station. Sonic bumps into Shadow along the way, and the two come to face their final battle with each other.
So, there's more to you than just looking like me. What are you, anyway?
What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventure. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog.
I see. But you know, I can't let you live. Your adventuring days are coming to an end.
So following this, the story does divert into two separate endings depending on whether you've played the hero story or the dark story. They do sort of converge, but I'll just lay them each out for you. Our dark ending has Eggman placing all 7 Chaos Emeralds into the Ark's control panel while danger signs flash on the screen around him. The hero ending has Sonic use the fake emerald that he was launched out into space with to stop the Eclipse cannon from firing. So, if you complete both stories, however, you are played this cutscene.
The ultimate life form.
Chaos
Vengeance.
control.
Space
Desperation.
Supersonic.
Collision.
Untamed power.
Maria.
Chaos Emerald.
Professor Gerald.
The truth about 50 years ago.
Sonic Adventure 2. Last episode. Wishes are eternal.
Okay. Very ominous, and I love how very serious this gets after this little fun romp through a Sonic game. Kind of love it in like a really cheesy kind of way. The player now unlocks a third campaign labelled the End Story, which makes you run through all of the characters we have played through in the 2 campaigns, but this time it is counted as one sort of continuous level. Basically, the story for this campaign is after the events of the main campaigns, a message is broadcasted on the observation deck to all of our characters, showing Gerald Robotnik, Eggman's grandfather.
This is a death sentence for every human being on Earth. If my calculations are correct, the space colony Ark will impact the Earth in 27 minutes and 53 seconds. All of you will be destroyed, along with your beloved planet Earth. I plan to give you a taste of my revenge once all the 7 Chaos Emeralds are collected. Once I initiate this program, it cannot be disabled. All of you ungrateful humans who took everything away from me will feel my loss and despair.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No.
The characters all act together in this section of the game to get to the core of the Ark to stop the crash sequence using the Master Emerald, which Knuckles now has. This is due to the fact that the Master Emerald has the power to interact with the other Chaos Emeralds and could in theory stop their power being used. While this all happens, we play through all of the characters bar one, and that is Shadow, who is now alone on the observation deck. Amy convinces Shadow to help the others as he realizes that Maria's final wish was not to get revenge on humanity, but was in fact to protect all humans. Shadow heads off to help the others after a little pep talk from Amy. Sonic and Knuckles arrive at the core that is built to replicate the temple of the Master Emerald, but before they can get through the temple, a huge creature appears, a prototype for the ultimate life form nicknamed the Bio-Lizard. Shadow arrives at this point during this fight, and he has a boss battle with the creature while the others are using the Master Emerald to stop the collision process. However, the Bio-Lizard does vanish from the temple using what I can assume is some form of chaos control and fuses to the Ark's cannon to speed up the collision process. Shadow and Sonic ultimately power up in their super forms and defeat the Bio-Lizard.
No way that's getting through!
Shadow, I beg of you,
Maria.
give them a chance to be happy.
Now, Shadow! Chaos controls!
Maria, this is what you wanted, right? This is my promise I made to you.
The remaining characters reflect on the events that transpired, and Sonic bids Shadow one last farewell.
Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
So that was Sonic Adventure 2, and I honestly have so many amazing memories of playing this game. I think overall, the Tails, Eggman, Knuckles and Rouge sections aren't really the greatest levels to replay, but I still quite like a couple of them, even though they have quite annoying gameplay sometimes. But the real stars of this game are the Sonic and Shadow levels, of course. I think it's not really been emulated quite as well as it has in Sonic Adventure 2. I think City Escape and Radical Highway especially just absolutely stand out as absolute peak Sonic game design, or really the reason why those games hold the appeal that they do, or at least that's how I feel about it. Minus some exceptions in levels such as like Crazy Gadget, I think with those Sonic and Shadow levels, there's a really nice sense of momentum behind them, and it feels like everything flows really nice between each section as you go. Even sort of the two forest levels that Shadow and Sonic have, I love the urgency that's built up through both the sort of timer and also the music that's used in those levels. And speaking of music, damn, this game's soundtrack is absolutely awesome. I find myself listening to some of the level soundtracks quite a bit, and as you'll see in this video, hopefully I've been able to put through some examples for you if you're not familiar with the soundtrack on this game. One thing I really love about the soundtrack, that each character has kind of a style of music that permeates through the entirety of their levels in particular, or in the cutscenes when they're involved. As I said, the Tails, Eggman, Knuckles and Rouge sections aren't my favourite, and it's not really why people play Adventure 2, but I do still like a bit of the variety between the levels. The Tails and Eggman sections may have the most annoying sound effects in the universe to keep spamming that sort of shoot button or lock on button. But I still quite like sort of running through all of them, and it sort of stops the game feeling a little bit samey here and there. I will also mention that I really like a lot of the boss encounters in this game. Obviously you do fight sort of the other characters, so like Rouge and Knuckles have their sort of confrontation, Shadow, Sonic, Tails, Eggman. But the sort of standalone bosses, so to speak, I really like quite a few of them. I have a real soft spot for King Boom Boo. I love. And I quite like the mechanics, having to sort of run around that circular section, and then you're using the digging mechanics to sort of dig out the shadow when you've got the sun coming into the arena. I also particularly like, and I want to bring up the Egg Golem boss fight. I really like that they chose the same boss battle in two campaigns, but one of them is with Sonic, so it's that sort of fast sort of homing attacks and jumping combat, but then the character they chose for the Dark Hero was Eggman, a very sort of slow and shooting character. So I appreciate, even though they reused the boss, they made the encounters feel very different from each other. Another thing to quickly mention about the boss fights is I absolutely love the Shadow versus Sonic, or Sonic versus Shadow depending on story. That final battle where they basically just make a big platform that's just a straight line, and they just sort of focus in on just speed while they're fighting each other. I don't know why, it's such a cool moment in that game. This sort of space environment looks great, and the music is absolutely hype.
Before this is over, I'll show you the true power of chaos control!
Something to mention as well, after you've completed sort of the standard mission, so to speak, I like that each stage has a few sort of alternate options to do them. They vary from sort of a hard mode to collect 100 rings in the stage. It's nice that there's at least a bit of variety if you want to go back and replay and you want to sort of collect all the emblems, especially since the emblems will give you more options when you enter the Chow Garden, which is something that I've not really talked about quite as much, and that is for a reason, because We're not really going to touch on Chow Garden here because I would like to sort of cover that separately at some point. In addition, just one thing to mention that I really like the gauntlet style of the level leading up to the sort of final battle in the end story. There's some sections that are a little bit annoying, like the underwater section, which I think was Knuckles, but I quite like the idea of you running through sort of all the characters back to back under the same live. I really like how that level is constructed. I really love this game, and it's one that I'm going to continue to sort of occasionally come back to, maybe drop another few hundred hours into Chow Garden, or just replay all the levels again just to hear that soundtrack. Of course, I do truly recommend from the bottom of my heart that you should go out and play Sonic Adventure 2, especially if you've got Steam. It's available on there, so you can still go and play it. It's really worth playing. But most importantly, I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's been a long work of progress, but I really wanted to discuss this game. I think it's absolutely awesome. It's a good fun time, really, and I think you'll enjoy it too if you like that kind of game. So thank you for watching. It really is greatly appreciated, and I will see you next time. One thing I also wanted to mention was that Rouge has great tips.